December's cold moon is just around the corner, and it's officially time to start slowing down and embrace the stillness. Hi, my name is Amanda, and I share how I navigate the everyday human experience through a spiritual lens. You'll find small, daily, intentional spiritual practices that you can integrate into your own life, posted on my Facebook and Instagram accounts. I've posted that for you below. And every 2 weeks, I'm here to talk about the new and the full moon so that you can co-create a wonderful, rich life that works for you and using all the natural forces that's around us. I'm sharing some of my favorite holiday traditions like right now, like making glühwein, crafts, and getting clarity about intentions for the new year on those platforms. So take a peek. But today we're talking about the full moon happening on December 4th. This moon is coming in strong, illuminating everything that we've been avoiding or quietly holding on to. And if you were tuned into the retrograde energies that we all just went through, it was brutal, you may already have a pretty clear idea of what this moon brings for you personally. Full moons reveal, they clarify, they heighten emotions, and this one is especially potent. So let's settle in and unpack what it's bringing to the surface to mindfully cultivate the kind of holiday season that we want instead of just getting swept away by the energies about. December full moons always have a powerful sort of reflective quality. It's the end of the year, the nights are long, and the energy pushes us inward. But the full moon lights up whatever we can't ignore anymore. Procrastinators, don't shoot the messenger. Think of this moon as the universe holding up a lantern saying, here is what needs closure. Here is what's ready to be released before the new year. So seasonally, this moon encourages emotional clarity, honest reflection, tying up loose ends, which makes sense, and acknowledging what no longer fits so that we can make space for 2026 with intention and not overwhelm. This full moon is like spiritual decluttering. Whatever feels heavy, stagnant, or misaligned is ready to be cleared. And this full moon lands in the sign of Gemini, which is an air sign, and ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, learning, and curiosity. So putting that together, how did Mercury retrograde play out for you? Gemini's higher expressions, which we always talk about, and that we want to cultivate in our lives, are that of curiosity and openness. So asking the questions without judgment to try and understand yourself and others. Clear, honest communication to express your truth, but doing so gracefully. Flexibility of mind, seeing multiple perspectives, learning and growth, integrating new ideas into your worldview. And lastly, connecting and social insight, improving those relationships through understanding. This moon is here to help us gain clarity on situations that have been confusing or stagnant. If we can bring emotional awareness to the table, it will support us in those areas. So let's talk about Gemini's lower expressions that perhaps we want to avoid. They are overthinking or indecision, so kind of feeling stuck in your head. Gossip or miscommunication, saying things with impulse without thought. So here's where self-regulation comes in. Scattered focus, jumping between ideas or projects without completing them. And surface level understanding, avoiding when we're trying to avoid deeper emotional or mental work. So how can we work with this moon cycle and the energies about? The first way is, as always, we can start with doing the inner reflective work with a journal. I love journaling, and this is where we do our internal work first, right? So ask yourself these questions. What still feels like a burden to me, heavy or harder to ignore, that would just be such a drag to carry into the new year? Write it down. If you make the time to write it down and sit and listen to yourself, it's going to come to you. What cycle or pattern feels complete that I can now leave behind? There were some big karmic lessons for me that I'm leaving behind. What do I need to communicate clearly to myself or to others? Journaling is also a great way to release mental clutter so it's not occupying your CPUs in your brain, and getting them organized. So grab a planner and write out the activities, the festivities, and the tasks that you still want to accomplish this year so they don't occupy space in your head, because that takes away from the experience here in the now. And that's the whole reason why we are engaging in these activities, is to be connected and to have experiences in the now with the people we love to spend time with. I like to jot down things like send holiday cards or prepare for X event on specific days in my planner so that I can know I can reasonably handle it and get it done without stressing myself out. And then if I find myself overbooked, I start taking things off my list. And that is the art of being mindful with our energy this time of year, and how we want to use it and what we want to spend it on and how we're feeling in any given moment. Another way to work with this full moon is to strengthen communication. For me personally, I have a situation in my life right now, to give you an example, that's currently demanding very clear, explicit communication so that I can avoid, any misunderstandings and as I navigate that situation. So I've intentionally been writing down my thoughts as I process the situation throughout the day when those thoughts come up, so that they don't distract me and take time away from my current lived experience. That's where life happens, in the now. I'm also feeling the draw to make some video calls with friends, and at work, our leadership team just the other day randomly decided to skip a staff meeting and just chat and spend time together. So you'll start to feel those pulls towards changes that you want to incorporate at this time of year. So maybe different routines. Write things down, because when you're out of routine, things get lost. And lastly, we can work with this energy by intentionally slowing down. I have been lifting weights all year, and here during the winter months, I'm switching up my workouts to yoga, walking, and I'm giving my body and my brain a break from the constant pushing to achieve. So really embracing my femininity and softening into that. I'm changing up my hobbies from playing hard outdoors, exhausting myself, to crafting under a blanket and getting cozy. And if we find it hard to slow down, then that in itself is an indication we can approach with curiosity about the stories or maybe the expectations that might be lurking in the nooks and crannies of our brain, especially this time of year. The holiday season does not have to be chaotic, so just find ways in your own life where you can be mindful about what you give your energy to in a way that supports the life that you truly want. You're in charge of your life. You create your life. You get to decide where your energy goes. Ultimately, this full moon brings illumination to our minds, an opportunity to speak our truth and to release that mental clutter before this year ends. So let me know in the comments below how this full moon is showing up for you and what mental patterns you're ready to release. I'd also be curious to hear how your retrograde went the last 2 weeks. Like, follow, subscribe, as always, if you find this useful, and if you'd like to support me. And otherwise, until next time, honor your thoughts, trust your intuition, and shine your light with clarity and curiosity. Take care.